even though you look quite a bit younger than Stephen, Leslie, you, like Stephen, have had a long career doing what you do. Y'all both worked in so many aspects of hiring and managing people. What are the biggest differences that the two of you see, whether it's corporate structures, culture, what's meaningful to employees that you see defining the next 10 years in the workplace? Because I bet y'all have seen a lot of shifts.
Definitely. Well, I think that working from home and remote working and hybrid is huge. It's big now, but it's going to get even bigger as time progresses or time goes on. In culture, we talk a lot about culture, but culture and company values is a big mainstay that it's going to stay. It's going to be here. Companies really are leaning more towards focusing on their employees, their employee well-beings.
In the last few years, and the word COVID comes up all the time now when we're talking about hiring and how things have changed. Right out of college, kids are walking in the door and it's a me world. I want unlimited vacation and I want a six-figured income and I want flexibility and this didn't used to be the way it was. They came in wanting a job and they wanted to hear about what the job was going to entail and how they could perform at the job. But the conversation almost starts with, what can I get if I come to work for you? I think it's going to change back. And this is just an opinion, but like you said, I'm older than Leslie, and I've been around the block a few times. And companies can't survive giving everything away. They have to be profitable, but they also have to have compassion and be promoting from within and helping these people learn and grow a safe and happy workplace. It's not just money, it's about how we can grow and you can grow with us. If someone gets real comfortable in their job, you can keep them much longer than if they're there just for a paycheck or if they're unhappy. If they're unhappy, they're looking.
And I think you see some pendulum swings when you think about that. My company is mostly Gen Z and Gen Y millennials.
Right.
We've got a little group of Gen Xers. We've got one older millennial we work with, and then a whole bunch of young millennial Gen Z. And I'll tell you what I find refreshing about the ones I've gotten to work with. And I realize I'm in the candy land of the creative industry where young people can contribute so much creatively. They have a different relationship to work. Like I can remember the first time I switched jobs and my parents, are you sure about that? You had great pay and benefits. And I would be like, yeah, they were jerks. Tired of working for them. And hopefully there's nicer people over here. My parents' generation was you get that compensation package you can count on and you hold on for dear life.
Right.
The younger generation is, I want work that's fulfilling. Like they've got a checklist of things they're looking for. And if you look at it, pretty reasonable stuff. Like they don't want to have somebody in their family suffering because they can't leave the workplace, take care of their family member and go back and finish their work with a clear head, right? So that flexibility factor,
Mhm.
now we're talking about how disruptive COVID is. I was one of the original gangsters of working from home. It wasn't disruptive for me in the least, COVID. It was kind of interesting for me watching lots of people come to the party that I'd been partying at for years, kind of learning that in certain businesses, certain environments, productivity is actually greater. So I do think, Stephen, to your point of like the pendulum swings, I said we're going to see some stuff ease back. And just like I think that's the point, right? With every generation,
It is.
you might see some extreme change at first, and then it eases back in some ways. But some of these mindsets do become permanent. I think what's cool about what y'all do and your resilience as business people is being able to adapt to those changes because it happens. every 5 to 10 years, and then you deal with cataclysmic stuff like recessions, COVID plus recession. Keeps it interesting, doesn't it?
It does. You know, Brian, if you had had a good HR manager where that companies were jerk, they'd have brought you in and talked to you a little bit and found out what was bothering you there, and might have been able to work out a situation where you could both advance and become happy. That's something else HR does. I love our conversations, Brian. You make me think. And a good HR person and a good executive recruiter has to listen more than they talk.
That's how you learn, right? And
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
thanks to you both for the opportunity you gave us recently to work on your brand, work on your website.
We couldn't be happier with that. That's awesome. Did a
Well,
great job.
You guys did a fantastic job. Knocked it out of the park.
Thank you. We've, yeah, I know in a way y'all are getting started, but in a way, really it's just the next iteration. It's almost like y'all were changing wardrobe between acts, right?
Right.
I'm glad you've entrusted that with us, and I think y'all are formidable.
Well, thank you for that. I think relationships are the key to anything. And this is a great relationship.
Thank you. So to our audience, look at yourregalsolution.com to find these two and everything they can do. Thank you both.
Thank you, Brian, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.